we'll start recording.
Oh, 2 of the babies were here.
Yeah.
T and Andrew, but I am quarantining in my room. So
Right. Because you
Well,
were
you got
Vegas.
the big C.
no, I was in Vegas this past weekend. So as a precaution to those around me, I am quarantining in my room.
You're a good egg. I like it.
I didn't get to squish my little baby.
Oh. All right. Well, it sounds like everybody had a pretty
Sounds
good
like you had a
weekend.
good weekend. in
I
Las
know.
Vegas
It was a
last
great
night.
weekend. That was a great weekend.
Yeah.
I only lost $15. That's not bad.
No.
That's a win.
That's a win.
That's actually
Yeah.
winning in Vegas.
Well,
I mean,
like, the free drinks when you're playing too. So
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So you ended up on the plus side of that.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been to Vegas. I used to take my mother, who's 97, I think, would still love to go to Vegas.
Oh, she's one of those.
Oh yeah, we used to go a lot. So I don't. I haven't quite. I still haven't quite gotten over. I don't know. I should probably take her. Yeah, that's a whole other Zoom that we.
Well, she's immune to COVID, so you.
I know. I know. She could be doing sitting there in the slots. Nothing phasing her. All right. Okay. Another good week. I read a lot, but nothing. Only one. I think, Tom, I'm going to talk about one of your books today.
Okay.
That's coming out, I think, tomorrow. So we'll see if we're talking about the same thing.
Okay.
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Everything else I've been reading is not coming out till well into the future. Talk about 2023. I have 3 manuscripts that I'm reading right now for 2023.
I love it. We love it. Thank you, Jill.
They're good though. They're very good.
It
All right.
might soon be 4.
Okay. Thanks, Gabe.
So you know.
Just so you know. All right, it's gonna go Gabe, Tom, Amanda. So Gabe, let me put. Oops, I gotta get the share screen. And you think after 2.5 years I'd have this done, but no. Okay, Gabe. On to you.
All right. Sorry, I was just in the middle of something because I'm not used to being first.
Do you try to avoid that? I think.
I do. I like to ease into it. I don't like to be up front. Then all the attention is drawn to me and everybody's peters out afterward. Share screen. How does one do that anymore? Sorry, I'm completely.
It's Monday. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's Monday.
And then I got to blow up my thing.
Yeah.
And then I go to
Gotta
share
do-
screen. So I'm so sorry. I'm usually better
That's all
than
right.
this.
That's
This
all
is
right.
why- this is
We're
why I
deducting 2
don't
minutes
share
off your
screen.
time.
Is that what
Is
I'm
it?
sharing? No.
Yeah, what the heck, man?
That
That's
seems
pre-order.
odd, actually.
That
somehow.
is
Is that
odd.
is that an Amazon page?
No,
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
whatchamacallit. It's a Harper page.
Okay. Just as long as it's not an Amazon page.
Sorry, I was on my PowerPoint. So before the Big
There
Bang,
you go.
There we go. Same book, but
same book. Yeah, that was the Edelweiss link over there, or wherever I was. Oh no, the Harper. Anyways, just I need to go there to pull up the images, and this is before the Big Bang. There's a certain generation of us, I think, who grew up watching this Apollo rockets take off, the Gemini rockets take off. I mean, I go back to Gemini generation and the Apollos, and I was at the first space shuttle. I was luckily suspended from the phone company when I was in college working, and I got to go see the space shuttle come down at Edwards Air Force Base, and it's really cool. So I love this stuff, and now the Webb telescope is out there, and it is showing us images of stuff that happened a bazillion years ago, and the stuff that's gonna, I don't know, it's just
My brain can't wrap around that. Okay. I'm not, I mean, I'll admit that I'm not super, but it's just like that. I can't wrap my brain, but it's fascinating.
it's fascinating. So our author here, Laura Mercini Houghton, explains to us what was here before the Big Bang, what it is about an expanding universe, and explains all that to us because it's infinite, right? But it keeps getting bigger. And these web things have really just, like you're saying, I'm just like, whoa, you're looking, and then you see the Hubble pictures that are showing so many galaxies, and then the web, which is like, whoa. This is for you. This is for the fan of the Big Bang who likes to giggle along with their science stuff. But it's just fascinating stuff. So she really breaks it really simply down. what was here before the Big Bang, what the Big Bang was, what it did, what were the ramifications, where we are today, and talking about, things like the parallel universes, and she's pushing all the boundaries of science, and she's really is going, like, if you're in a tunnel and she's following all these veins to instruct you about what's really going on, and what happened in space, and what's continuing to go on and stuff. So it's really fascinating, really accessible, a lot more accessible than I'm making it sound. But she's a researcher. We got a great quote here from a Nobel Prize winner. And I think it's just, the kind of stuff that I think I know there's a readership for. I think she did a great job.
I haven't read one of these books. I love reading these kinds of books because I feel like, and the process, if they're good, which sounds like this is good. Oh, I understand it. I get it. And then I close the book and I'm like, no. Mm-hmm. But for those minutes with the genius scientist, I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of get it. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's those images are just incredible that are coming.
They're incredible.
I mean, they are absolutely incredible. Can't process. It's like how many millions, billions a year?
The billions a year, but then you got a multiverse, which she talks about too, and it's just a multiverse. God. Come on, man. Yeah. But I'm like Tom. It's just like I could sing along to the song if it's playing, but once you stop, I'm like,
exactly.
Trying to explain it to somebody else is just like, yeah.
But so many scientists are really good writers too.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Which is weird and amazing.
Yeah. Because there's some of these stuff is some of these guys, authors, men, women that have written these things, they really are like, they're so far beyond looking at things beyond where we are that I even like the language, they got to bring their language seems, but they're great writers.
They got to dummy it down for us.
But they're like math people. You sort of think that they're math people, so they wouldn't be good writers, but maybe it's not all about math. I don't know. Yeah. That's another thing left brain.
Well, and then it's all that, like you talk about the parallel universe crap. It's like, okay, maybe there is something to that, and all of physics and all that kind of, I don't know. I got
a book for you.
Can I bring it back down to earth? I'll bring it back
for you. Okay, Kim's on here. She just finished Women in the Library and Florida Woman. Is that any of yours? Yep. Florida Woman. Both excellent, she said. And she's just starting Harry Sylvester Bird.
Ooh, tell me what you think, because I thought that was really, really interesting how everything was laid out. So it's intense.
Yeah. I actually recommended that to Nancy on Libro.fm because she likes listening to stuff. So that's our owner. So hopefully. Okay, Tom.
Okay.
What you got for us?
So I've got, this was on sale, I think a week ago. This was on sale last week. Any Other Family by Eleanor Brown. So she is really one of our most accessible novelists. But she doesn't publish very often. It's been 5 years. So her first book was The Weird Sisters. And then 5 years ago, she published The Light of Paris. And so Any Other Family is the first book in quite a long time.
Oh.
But she's good. And all of her books are really good book club books, which I'll get to later. But the new book is about a subject that I don't feel like has been treated very much. It isn't just talked about that much in fiction, which is adoption. So the other kind of family that she's writing about here are 3 sets of parents who have adopted 4 biological siblings. So their children are siblings, but there's 3 different parents that are raising them, but they've all agreed to raise them kind of together, like in many ways together. So, but that's hard to do. It's hard to manage. So there's one character, Tabitha, who has the twins. She's like the planner of the group. There's Ginger, who's a single mother to the oldest daughter. And then Elizabeth is the other parent. So, and what brings them together is their first family vacation. So Eleanor Brown lives in Colorado, lives in Denver, and so this family, for lack of a better word, that's what it is. They're going on vacation together in Aspen. When they get the call that the birth mother of these siblings is pregnant again. And so that sets them all to thinking about, like, what, can we do it again? Are we doing it right now? It raises all kinds of questions. So it's really you love each of the characters and they're different in their eccentric different ways. It's pretty wonderful that way. And then one of my favorite columns in the New York Times Book Review is called Group Text, which is whoever runs that column, she picks books that are the most, books she likes for book clubs. So you'd be texting each other about the book. And in this week, she chose Any Other Family. And she says why I picked it. She says, we all have different expectations of our relatives. What happens when we're inextricably linked, not by blood, but by paperwork? Brown's story shows the best and worst case scenarios. So it's always, cause for celebration when we have a new Eleanor Brown. So Any Other Family. And I also really recommend The Weird Sisters from probably 10
I was going to
years.
say The Weird Sisters, okay, because I didn't put it together that that's who that was. And Gabe, you're killing me on your backdrops that you're doing. Okay, just saying that you're cracking me up. And you're like looking at yourself, kind of like going, "Oh, how's this look?" I was laughing at you, not you, Tom.
I didn't even notice you laughing, Julie, but now I know.
Like, oh my God. But anyways, back to Eleanor Brown. For whatever reason, I was thinking of Janelle Brown. That was in my head when I see that book, because it's just like I was thinking of her, but then it's like, oh yeah, she
and maybe it's because she doesn't publish that often. Janelle Brown is on more of a regular schedule.
Right. And so that's why that's what was in my head. So yeah, Weird Sisters is really good. Yeah.
Right.
So
and I love, I know Eleanor Brown a little bit, and she's herself adopted. She's a recently adoptive parent. So this is written from her life.
Got it. Okay. All right, Amanda, what you got for us, sister?
Hey, my turn. Okay. And here we go. All right, so the first up I have is a paperback out tomorrow, which is the James Patterson and Bill Clinton. Yay! The President's Daughter. So again, this is out in paperback tomorrow. Of course, in the traditional James Patterson way, you're going to have a nice adventure. So of course, in this book, the president, who was a former Navy SEAL, his daughter gets kidnapped, and now he's got to go and get her back. So here you go, James Patterson and Bill Clinton. Quick and easy.
Don't need to say much more than that.
I mean, I don't know what else I can say. That's all I got to say.
That's all you got to say. And actually, I've heard they're actually pretty good. They're like pretty solid.
Yeah,
I like it.
Can never go wrong. James Patterson and Bill Clinton can never go wrong.
I love it. I think he talk about? I think James Patterson talks about it in his James Patterson book, like when they were out on tour together. I mean, it's pretty funny. So that's another one that we just keep. That I love that James Patterson book. That's about him. It's
it's going to be an interesting tour compared to any other tour he's ever done, just because Secret Service. I know when they've come to stores or whatever for store events, it's a madhouse with Secret Service and all of the logistics and things like that. So I mean, having to be around that for an entire tour must be interesting.
Yeah, so pretty fun. Yeah. Okay, all right, Gabe, next choice. Hey, you're on mute.
Am I unmuted?
You are, man.
Unmuted. Gabe's having a time today.
Gabe's, it's a solid Monday for you.
Rough. So I know I don't need to talk about Daniel Silva, but I do anyways, because everybody needs to be aware that there's a new Daniel Silva book out. And this guy, man, I've been reading him for decades, like definitely almost 30 years, maybe. I've been reading Daniel Silva. So
since he was a Putnam author.
Right. Exactly. Are they still around, Putnam? But he was how do you leave Putnam? That's a big, marketing commercial fiction play, man. But yeah, we've got lucky enough to get Daniel Silva, and I was always like, how did we get Daniel Silva? And we've done a really pretty good job publishing. We've grown his sales little by little every time out lately. And it's not really us. I think it's him. He just keeps the quality of the books up, and you know what you're getting. So it's like comfort food, but I think like any good writer, he may write a couple of books that are kind of, because he keeps ramping it up. And this is a book where he takes it up another notch. And it's a little bit tighter and even tighter and even more compelling than his other stuff. He's Gabriel Elon, the Mossad assassin, spy chief, and art restorer by day, has separated from the Israeli Secret Service, and he's on his own. And he's got a buddy, Julian Isherwood, who has appeared in many of the books as who works with Gabriel Elon on the paint side of his legitimate day job, restoring. He owns a gallery, comes to him, and there's this painting that's up for sale, and Gabriel discovers that it's a fraud. And now he, the super spy and super restorer, has got to become the guy that he's tracking down, who's also a really good forger. So it's really interesting how he's mirroring Gabriel and the bad guy in this book. So I think he just, again, takes it up another little notch, and just doesn't continue to do the same thing. But you're going to get a Daniel Silva book. You're going to be turning the pages. It's going to be sexy. There's going to be some good shoot 'em up. The suspense line is undeniable. And again, just a little bit extra from Daniel on The Portrait of an Unknown Woman.
I love it. So Amanda put in the chat on Facebook, we're actually in a group event with him with Books and Books and a bunch of other bookstores on Friday. So if you're interested in the Daniel Silva book, order it that way and you'll get a chance to come into the event on Friday. And then also, if you can't join live at the event, you'll be able to watch it afterwards if you need to. So because it's going to be a conversation with Jamie Gangel. And I think that's going to be a really good conversation. So if you're interested in Daniel Silva's book, do that.
On sale tomorrow.
So do that one. You can go through the link that Amanda put on Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, just go to our website. You can see what we're doing. Okay, Tom, what do you got next?
My next book is a paperback coming out tomorrow. Katie Kitamura's Intimacies, which I talked about a year ago when it was in hardcover. And it was an interesting publication because it was a slow burn. It was got tremendous reviews last July and sold, some, but then it just kept developing. More readers came to it throughout the rest of the summer into the fall. And then when the award season came around, it was nominated for so many awards. And the biggest thing that happened to it was one of the New York Times 10 best books of last year, and one of the 5 best fiction of the year. So the book really took off. So if you've been waiting for paperback, the day is here. I find her a really fascinating writer. She in this book, she's writing about an interpreter at The Hague. This is a young woman who's left New York for The Hague and at the International Court. So she's the interpreter for, in this case, it's a trial of a former leader who's accused of war crimes. So she's exposed to, discussion and, graphic discussion of terrible violence, and, it's just hideous. But her job is to keep a very, even tone as she's just interpreting the words. At the same time, there's an act of violence that happens. She's involved with a man, and then something happens with them. So there's turbulence under the surface, but Kitamura she has this kind of serene surface, but below that, so much is happening. It's a really fascinating style. As Dwight Garner in the New York Times said, that's what we have on the cover, she casts a spell. And that's really what it feels like, because she's unlike any other writer. But Dana Spiata, who I think we've talked about on Knopf publishes her. She said, Intimacies is a haunting, precise, and morally astute novel that reads like a psychological thriller. Katie Kitamura is a wonder. Her work is striking, stylish, and fully realized. And I think this is her most mature work. It's her best novel. It's Intimacies, on sale tomorrow in paperback.
It's one of those books that's literally on my stack, but it keeps getting pushed
Right.
with all the stuff that's coming out. But I
Right.
so want to read that so
Yeah,
bad.
it's fantastic.
I know. It's one that I have to get to. So many good books.
Exactly.
Damn it. Okay. And just real quick, Amanda B. So Beth on here read, I know you guys can't see the Facebook comments, so that's why I'm reading them to you. She read the James Patterson biography and thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, it's perfect. We were just talking about it. It's good. It's just
they sent us an early listening copy of that. So we got to listen to a little bit.
Did he read it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think the one we got, he wasn't reading. It was like one of those automated ones.
Oh, got it.
But he did read the.
Yeah, I just like blew through it. It was super entertaining. And it came at a time when I needed something that was just like pure entertainment because I didn't want to think too hard. It was, I don't know, some Supreme Court judgment was probably coming down. When
Could have been any day or any week.
Could have been any day. Oh my God, I saw the
years
best
doing
thing
that
on
one, yep.
Twitter. I think Amanda Q, I shared it with her. This guy is like talking about how you're going on Twitter and it's like the world's falling apart, and then you get an email that says, oh, you need to fix this mistake. You're back and forth with doing your like mundane job while the like world seems to be like burning all around us.
Right.
It's too funny. Anyways, okay, Amanda, what you got for us?
All right, so my next one, here we go, is a children's book. So this is a middle grade novel called J.R. Silver Writes Her World. So what if you could write your dreams into reality with just the stroke of a pen? Well, for the sixth grader, Josephine, this is actually true. So she begins to write stories, and then all of a sudden they start to come true. So she's writes it down that she gets a cell phone because she really wants one and her parents said no. So now she's got a cell phone. She wants to score the game-winning goal in soccer. So she just jots down a little note there, and lo and behold, boom, she scores the game-winning goal in soccer. But of course, things don't always go as you would expect them. So she begins to realize that as every time she writes these stories, other things kind of pop up here and there that don't, make things always a little bit different. So then, all of a sudden, she's in a fight with her best friends. Things are just going out of whack, and she's realizing that maybe this little magic gift is not all that it's cracked up to be. And of course, throughout the journey, there is growth that we always see in middle grade novels, learning to love yourself and accepting where you are, and those around you. So again, really cute, very charming middle grade novel. J.R. Silver Writes Her World.
Looks really good. I love the whole premise.
Right?
So, yeah.
Because we all imagine that, right? We all wish we could be like, oh, let me just write a little story here and plan my whole
What do they
world.
call those vision boards?
Yeah.
Those imagine it will happen.
Yeah, just a little magic.
When I was a little kid in Catholic school, I used to pray for stuff like that.
I just have this great picture of you in a little uniform. That was such a great little zap me into game as a little kid in a uniform in Catholic school.
I love Catholic school as a vision board. That's
I love it. Oh, so great. Okay, speaking of Gabe, lightning round.
Bam, I'm gonna hit you hard.
Whoa.
Stand back. So I just got something fun. And every once in a while you need something light. And there's people who just will not read anything light, and that's fine. Some things are too light. I think the number one selling author in the country right now is, like fourth grade vocabulary. But they love the books. But this is one of those, I'm looking around. Every once in a while, when you work at a publisher, you pick up something that you would never, ever, ever think you would read. And because you're going to look at a few pages of it. And I honestly, I didn't finish this because there's just so much to read, but it just took me away. It is what I think considered women's fiction. I think when you look at it in the top subject matter, it's a young woman, Jess Metcalf. She's her beloved grandma's passed away. And she can't really handle, she loses her job at the library. So she's her life's falling apart. She really can't handle living where she is in London. So she moves to a small little village, and on her property, she inherits this old red phone box like they have in the UK, and her grandmother bequeathed her a ton of her books that she could never part with because they were her grands. She's read a bunch of them, and she grew up reading at her grandma's house. So she creates this little tiny library, and then there's a little bit of magic as the books get filtered through the community, and they provide a little magic. So it's a sweet little story. I think it'll make a cute little one of those little Brit indie movies with some tweaks. But it's not all, it takes you away. You could see the landscape, and you feel that you're in Britain, and there's all these characters, odd little characters with their little quirks and things, and it all comes together in this little heartwarming novel about life in general, all the universals. Paperback original.
The image,
bargain at
that image on the cover just immediately takes you exactly to the place. It doesn't take, it's just like immediately I'm there.
Yeah.
You know?
And speaking of like my comment that I made before that, it's just like, so we just need those books sometimes that are just like, just a little delight. Just a little delight to read. All right, Tom, are you going to delight us?
I am going to delight you in a very different way.
Okay.
I'm going to expand your mind.
Okay.
So I think we've published Michael Pollan for many, many years, and I still think of Michael Pollan as one of our best food writers, but he's not that anymore because he's carved out a whole new world for himself. So the new book is new in paperback tomorrow. This is Your Mind on Plants. But the book before that was the book that really blew our minds, was How to Change Your Mind.
Mm-hmm.
So in these two books, he's challenging our thoughts about drugs, basically, and he explores how they're being used therapeutically to help people with it's basically psychoactive plants. And in the new paperback, he's focusing on 3 plant drugs. There's opium, caffeine, and mescaline, and he talks about their effects and what they do to the brain and the positive effects that they have. And it's especially topical right now because on Netflix, just I think premiered this week, is a documentary, 4-part documentary called How to Change Your Mind, featuring Michael Pollan. So go watch the documentary. It's fascinating. And then if you're interested, then it leads you right to the original book, How to Change Your Mind, and now the new book, This Is Your Mind on Plants.
Okay, so wait a minute. So the drugs are caffeine,
opium, and mescaline.
Mescaline.
That's still around?
Yeah.
How about shrooms? How come he's not doing shrooms?
Maybe that's the next book. Don't worry.
Mescaline, I was like, I thought that was like a 70s, like 80s thing.
We watched the first episode of the documentary. It's all about microdosing.
Yeah, right.
So it's just like
kind of it's fascinating to me as a person who would never think of it. It's just not my thing, but I'm fascinated to watch.
But you're either it's my eyes or you're strobing, Tom.
I know there's a little lamp here that's, I guess it needs to be plugged in
right now.
You're strobing, Julie. It's nothing is happening here. It's all you.
I had my eye surgery last week, and my eye is strobing. So it's just like, so I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's you. I don't know what's it's the drugs.
I never know if anyone's seeing that. It happens periodically, and it just started happening like over and over again.
It's the orange window pane, man. Relax, you'll get through it.
Yeah, exactly. Trust Michael. Julie, just relax. Trust Michael Pollan.
Trust Michael Pollan.
Give me a little mescaline.
You clearly need another dose.
I'm thinking it's like, see you guys. I'm out. All right. Amanda, how do you top that?
Okay. Wow. Okay. So here we go. My last book that I have for you is a beautiful picture book called Berry Song. By Michaela, I'm sure I'm gonna butcher the last name, Goday. And so she is the author or the illustrator who did We Are Water Protectors, which won the Caldecott a few years ago. and was absolutely one of my favorite books that when it came out, it was truly one of the best picture books I had read in many years. So when I saw we had this book on our list, I was just over the moon to get it. I am absolutely in love with her illustrations. As you can just see here, they are just exquisite illustrations. So I am so happy that we have this here.
Oh, so good.
Berry Song, and there you go. I mean, they're just stunning. I mean, you just can never go wrong with one of her books. So I'm super excited. And Warwick's will actually have signed prints to go along with the books tomorrow when it comes out. So that is going to be a nice little added bonus to get with the book for you guys tomorrow. So there you go. Berry Song by Michaela Godin.
That's awesome. I love the illustrations.
Oh, I mean,
they're incredible.
It's incredible. If you haven't also seen We Are Water Protectors, I highly recommend taking a look at We Are Water Protectors. I read it, and I remember when I read it, it was just such a powerful book. It's all about preservation of the land, the oil on the natives. It's just got a lot going on in it, and it was just exquisitely illustrated. And then this is her own book. She did the entire thing. She didn't write We Are Water Protectors. She just merely illustrated. So this one is her own creation from top to bottom. And again, just the illustrations. I love her work. It is just absolutely beautiful and stunning.
So if you are going to order it from us, make sure you put in the notes about getting one of the signed prints or whatever we have for it. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm going to share now. So Tommy, you didn't talk about the book that I was going to talk about.
I know, I can't wait to hear the book.
So here we go. And it's, again, one of those, this was just a really good summer read for me. This was my kind of summer read. Where am I? We're doing this. All right.
Gabe is Contagious.
Yeah, Gabe's Contagious. The Birdcage.
Oh, right.
Eve Chase. It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in the vein of like Lisa Jewell or Kate Morton, that type of takes place in the English in Cornwall, I think, in England. Three sisters from three different moms, same dad. Dad brings them all back to the house. Goes between two time periods, between the late like 1999 and 2019. So 20 years difference between, and just family secrets and something that happened on the night of an eclipse in Cornwall back in 1999. And she just weaved together just this great story, bringing out all these different personalities and things. Completely entertained. Read it in like 2 days. So we're having an event with her on Wednesday at 1 o'clock because she's actually in England. So we're doing an event with her and Rosie Walsh, who Rosie wrote Ghosted and The Love of My Life. And so Jennifer is going to interview those two lovely ladies on Wednesday. But the Birdcage's got a great cover. And I loved it. It was just that really good, solid. All the twists were good. They, you kind of figure out a little bit of one. But yeah, so there we go. Birdcage. Okay, everybody. I think that's it. We were fast today. We got done in record time.
I thought we spent a lot of time. I thought I spent a lot of time jibber jamming.
I know. We were jibber jabbing today. We were getting down to business. All right. Well, what else? So Daniel, this week, Eve Chase, I think that'd be a good one. Daniel Silva on Friday. That's another good.
Did I hear Julian Barnes when I was checking in?
Yes, you did.
Is that a possibility?
Yes, it's going to be virtual. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Virtual.
There's somebody that I know that might be able to hook you up with a link to that. Might be able to get you. But yeah, I'm super excited. We're trying. It's gonna be in August sometime, middle of August. So we're trying to get that nailed down so we can get it going. But I'm really excited about that. So can't wait. All right, everybody. Until next Monday. I might be joining you next Monday. It's the following Monday. I might not be. So I'm leaving for Chicago, but not till I think our flight's at 9 on Monday. So I don't, so I think I can still do this and then get my suitcase.
On your way out of town.
On my way flying out of town. So anyways, everybody have a good rest of your week. Happy reading. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see everybody next week. Bye.
Bye.